Hey, what are you doing, YouTube? So it's JVilla777 here, and we're back on the grind. So we're doing the $0 to $100 challenge, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and bring up Holdem Manager 2 just to track our progress. So after about 4 sessions, this is our current graph. We're basically on track as long as we're winning, and our main goal is basically to reach 100. Okay, so yeah, so we're not doing too bad. And okay, so the main challenge basically focuses on 2NL zoom, and as I've said previously, we'll start off playing 4 tables, and if we do encounter any issues in regards to writing notes, going over hand histories, and if we do run out of time, or if we time out in some tables or in a couple of tables, we'll cut down to 3 tables. So that will give us a chance to talk about the hand more thoroughly, and as well as take notes on our opponents and whatnot. Okay, so let's go ahead and start 4 tables. I'm also not going to turn my HUD on. And like I said, these stakes, we don't necessarily need to take reads. I mean, we do need to take reads, but you know, we don't necessarily need to use HUD. Okay, so table 1, 8-6 suited versus MP, and then a cold call from the small blind. So small blind plays 2 table, and I think this is an okay defend. 8-6 suited, we're getting about, so we need to call $4 into 14. We're getting about 3.5 to 1. So 3.5 to 1, about 33%. If I'm not mistaken, that's 33%, so 3.5 to 1. It's actually... It's actually 23% roughly. So my mistake. What do you think, guys? Do you always defend with suited 2 gappers or suited connectors versus two players? I think I'm gonna check here. I don't think we're value betting anything. So if we do get called, we're pretty much getting called by a 9 at least. Okay. Now on the river, when it gets checked twice on the, like if it gets checked on the flop, checked on the turn, I think we can definitely make a small value bet here. I was thinking of getting called by at least an ace-5 or something. So let's just go over it again. Okay, so on table 4, with 3 bets, queen-jack suited versus a cutoff open. And on this board, I can basically bet half pot. He's obviously going to fold anything if it doesn't hit this flop. I mean, I can argue just betting a little bit smaller. I would say at least 12 cents. That will basically do the same thing. Now, table 2, queen 10 suited versus a 1 tabler. I like a 3 bet here. Table 1, we just flat versus under the gun open with ace queen. This guy's playing 1 table and he bets it fairly aggressive. Obviously gonna call. We do have a backdoor flush draw as well as a gut shot. Table 2, the guy donks. We have queen high, no draws. He's gonna fold that. Okay, so on this flop, he's raising under the gun. I can see him having pocket 9s here. I think he might fold pocket 9s and below. So I'm gonna bet the turn and also bomb the river. Okay. And he decides to check raise, so 16 into 82. I think we can call once. I think it's too weak not to call. Fold table 2. Okay, so table 1, I decided to call the check pin raise. What do you think he's check raising there with? I think he's check raising a lot of flush draws. What do you guys think? Would you guys bet this? Or would you guys just check back? I think we'll check back. I can't really see myself value betting. Okay. Okay, just gonna take note on this player. So, raise ace jack off under the gun. C bet top pair, top kicker, wet board. Check raise, turn min, give up river. Okay, so table 3 we open, we basically call. And I think it's pretty deep. I think I'm just gonna fold here because, I mean, pocket fives is super weak to call. I'm not being results oriented, but I don't think versus a massive 3-bet and a cold call, I don't think it's a fairly good idea to call that. Okay, this however, on table 1, we're definitely going to defend with pocket 7s. The raise, the 3-bet squeeze is not fairly big. We are on the button. Table 3, blind versus blind. We're going to see bet this. He limps. I mean, he would be raising here with a lot of Broadway cards, like at least Jack 10, Queen 10, anything like that. I think he would raise and c bet that. I think I'm just gonna call this, and he rivered us, but that's completely fine. Now our table 1, we just flatted on a super wet board, and we have just a little bit of over a pot size bet left. I don't really see any reason. I think shoving here is much better. I think we'll get called by a lot of draws, a lot of over pairs as well. Okay, so table 2 open. I'm just gonna check fold here. He is short. There's no need to actually bluff here because he's only got a big blind stack. I don't want to put in a bunch of money where I don't have much equity and then just check folding the turn. So I'm just gonna try and check this down, or at least give up. Okay, basically when he checks twice and we don't have any showdown value, I'm just gonna pot this. I don't think he can call here with king high. And he rivered a 5. That's completely fine. Let's go ahead and take note. So defend, queen 5, suited, BVB, check back, missed board, will not bluff in position. Oops, oh, we timed out. Okay. So table 4, I decided to c-bet, just because when MP raises and I call and also the button calls, I feel like the button is just trying to get to a flop. And on a flop like that, the button, I think he would have some sort of ace-5 spades range or something like that he might call. But if he folded, I feel like he could have had some sort of queen 10 offsuit hand, or at least like a jack 9 offsuit or something like that. And I don't think he can call versus a bet if he's only playing 2 overs versus 2 players. So he doesn't really know what this guy's gonna do yet. So I think the best play for him is just fold if he misses the flop. Okay, I'm gonna open up another table. Like I said, if we do run out of time on a couple of tables, if we do timeout, we're just going to play 3 tables so we can talk about the hand as well. Okay, so table 2, pocket 9s, we do get 3 bet, and it is a fairly smallish 3 bet. And this guy's playing 1 table, so basically when someone does this with playing 1 table, my first assumption is this is going to be a fairly strong hand. So he's going to play this carefully. it's a jack high dry flop, and it doesn't really connect versus his 3-betting range, especially when he's in the big blind. I mean, if he has aces, queens, kings, jacks, he would definitely c-bet this. So I think I can value bet here. I think we can get called by at least once by ace king or ace queen. And if he does have pocket tens, it puts him like under pressure. But I don't think he can fold pocket tens. But then we do get min raised. So what do you guys think he's min raising me with? I mean, he's gonna c-bet a lot of aces, kings, and whatnot. He checks back. I mean, he can't really have 9, 10 because we do have pocket nines. We do have 2 nines in it as our hand. So, and then he checks back. I think we're either gonna get stacked here or we're stacking him. If he check raise me with ace jack, I think he has at least a jack in his hand, so we can bet this fairly small since there's a king on the board. Okay, so table 3, I raise under the gun with ace 9 of clubs. I think I like a check here. We're just gonna check call this. Even though there is a flush draw there, I feel like his range on the button is fairly weak versus an under the gun open. I mean, we can argue that it's semi-strong, otherwise, you know, he wouldn't be calling versus an under the gun open. But now when he checks the flop, he's gonna bet this. Okay, so let's see what he had on table 2. That seems fairly odd that he just check raise min the flop. I don't understand the check there. So what do you guys think about his play? So he check raised min. We're obviously gonna c-bet this because based on our assumption, based on what we can see, if he's 3-betting and then checking the flop, we can obviously put him on some sort of ace king, ace queen, king queen type of hand. And also if he's playing trappy, he's obviously gonna check raise with pocket jacks. I never expected him to check raise pocket queens, kings, or aces. So the bet here on the flop, I feel like that's like a semi-value bet, semi-protection bet. Yeah. And he ended up calling. Like I said, I think if we bet any bigger by the river, I don't think we'll get called, because if he's good enough to actually 3-bet pre-flop, he understands the strength of his hand. I think I'm gonna pot this. Okay, so table 1, this guy calls on the button. And he's betting fairly small on a paired board. We're not gonna give up that easy. We do have a backdoor flush draw. And once we do get to the turn, I feel like I'm just gonna shove this. Will you guys shove here? We're actually getting a good price to draw on the flush, so I think a call is better. I mean, ace high could still be ahead. Wow. So we'll also label this dude as a fish. Okay, we'll just take notes. Short stack flat jacks on the button. Plays it passively. Okay, so table 2, we're on the button, and we do have top pair, top kicker, and it's a fairly wet board. In some cases, I like a check back here. I mean, like, there's, like, with our hand, the reason why I'm checking back here sometimes is because, even though we have top pair, top kicker, versus a check raise, our hand pretty much is fairly hard to play with. And I didn't realize I had trip lines on table 1. Okay, so table 2, we're just gonna call this. We might call down depending on how big the size of the bet is. And he bets half pot. Do you guys see him having an 8 here? He could defend with a lot of 8, 9, 9, 8, 10, 8, or even king, queen. I think I'm just gonna fold. I'm basically bluff catching here. I'm just gonna go over that hand again. So do you guys, like, if you were in that position, would you have c-bet the flop? What would you have expected on the turn? I mean, like, most turn cards are pretty bad for us. So if we bet the flop, and if we do assume that all turn cards are pretty bad for us, would you keep barreling the turn and river? So let me know what you guys think. Okay, so we basically ISO'd the cutoff, and small blind cold call. He just calls the ISO, and we do have second pair. I think I'm just gonna fold here because he donks, and then this guy calls. We have second pair. I mean, backdoor straight draw, but it's pretty much weak to just call. So I think a fold there is perfectly fine. Okay, so table 1, we do have ace king suited. Obviously gonna c-bet this, and I think we can also follow up with a lot of turn cards. We can bet a lot of 10, jack, queen, king, ace top of turns. Okay, so ace king suited, table 2 versus someone that plays 4 tables, and he's raising under the gun. He's making it 3.5. A call here is perfectly fine. We don't want to go too crazy over ace king. Like I said, we need to play a hand fairly weak. If it's weakish, even though our hand is fairly strong, I can understand that this guy's playing 4 tables, so he would be fairly competent in regards to positional raise and bet sizes and whatnot. So we're just gonna fold here because he's potting it versus our gut shot and 2 overs. Okay. So table 1, we're getting about 5-1 on a call. Okay. Roughly about 5-1, and we do have a gut shot. So what do you guys think? Do you guys like a donk here versus a gut shot, or do you just want to check fold? I think my best play would be donking here versus at least 2 players, but when there's 3 players, I don't think anyone here would fold an ace, even if it was just an ace 2 suited. We're just gonna check fold. Okay, so table 3, we open 2.5 with ace queen off, and this guy insta 3-bets us. 3-bet is fairly big. This guy cold calls. I don't think I can fold ace queen versus in a in a button versus blind situation. So definitely gonna call, play this thing in position. So and this guy decides to check. Once he checks this, I feel like he could definitely have ace king without any clubs. Also pocket queens, pocket jacks as well. And we don't have anything. We do have a gut shot, and so we're just gonna check back. I don't think they're gonna fold. I mean, if it was a heads up situation, I can definitely see us betting in position, well, like when this guy checks. But versus two players, it would be pretty hard to actually get through. We kind of don't want to bluff off our stack. How about you guys? What do you guys would do in that spot? Would you guys 4-bet it pre-flop? Let me know in the comment section below what you would do. What's your standard play here versus unknowns? Okay, so here's an interesting spot. So basically we're in the big blind with pocket jacks, and we're gonna go 3-bet someone that's playing 4 tables. So like I said in my previous videos, someone that can play 4 tables is fairly competent in knowing what they're doing. I mean, I'm not saying that they're super good or whatnot, but at these stakes, someone who plays 4 tables would understand positional value as well as raise sizes, and I guess somewhat an idea of hand strength. Okay, so he decides to call. My basic assumption here is at 2-1L, at least pocket kings, pocket aces would 4-bet pre. Ace king would also get it in. So we're just gonna see bet this half pot. I know there's a 10, there's a flush draw as well. Hopefully, I was thinking of value. I mean, like I was thinking that is definitely a value bet if he has some sort of a 10-9 type of hand, a flush draw or anything like that. He's obviously not folding. Okay, so table 2, we basically 3-bet this on the king high dry flop. Just gonna see bet this. Hopefully we can get a call from at least pocket 5s, pocket 7s, pocket 8s, pocket 9s. Okay, so pocket 6s we get 3-bet by Popoy. And I think we're just gonna call here. I'm just gonna set mine. I think we can check back. That's an interesting river on table 2. And he basically pots it. What do you guys think he has? You guys think he has some sort of pocket 5s? I mean, like, I can see him having pocket jacks here, but we're obviously not folding. I can also see him having a queen, but aces. I never expected that. Nice play, buddy. I think that's fairly standard. Okay, we'll just take notes. So pots with very good hands and place trappy out of position. What do you guys think of our call? Would you guys have folded there versus a pot bet on the river? Do you guys feel like he pots it even if he has pocket 9s, pocket 8s, pocket 7s? Do you think he puts us on an overpair or at least like a big pocket pair? What do you guys think of our call there? Was that a fold or was that just a standard call? table 1 or table 2 basically turned an open-ended straight draw. I feel like when this guy raises 4 X's under the gun, he's fairly strong. He could be fairly trappy as well. So even though we have an open ender, I think it's still a check fold versus his bet. I don't think he's gonna fold pocket nines or anything like that versus a single bet. So table 3, we open and then small blind decides to donk. We do have bottom pair top kicker, so we're just gonna raise this up. Most turn cards are pretty bad for us, and a turn card like that basically completes any type of hand that he's donking with. So we're obviously just gonna fold, and we timed out of the other table, so just gonna open that up. And we have aces. Let's go. All right. Okay, so Vanimy decides to call from the cutoff. We do have aces on a semi-wet board, flush draw. I think we're just gonna bet this fairly aggressively. He's also got roughly about 60 big blinds. So we're gonna try and get as much money in the pot, because I think he can call there with a lot of hands as well. Any type of 10, like jack 10, queen 10, at least a flush draw, at least even pocket nines, pocket eights. I think he can call there. So what do you guys do? I mean, like, when you grind, do you play full tables as well? Like, how do you guys play? Or do you play like multiple limits? Let me know in the comments section below. Okay, so table 2, king queen off. This is a fairly standard 3-bet versus the button. And table 1, king queen off as well. Blind versus blind, obvious open. I think that was like a third 3-bet in the game. Okay, so table 3, I like this hand as a 3-bet. I also like this hand to be in my 3-bet range. However, he has like less than 100 big blind stack, so I don't really want to 3-bet him with some sort of weakish hand. I mean, it would make sense if we did have some sort of ace queen at least, or ace king. But suited connectors versus a button open, we can definitely 3-bet there. It's just that I don't feel comfortable him not having a 100 big blind stack. Okay, so just us 3.5 X's on the cutoff. We're just gonna 3-bet 5-4 suited in the small blind, and Joseph decides to snap call. Okay, we do have a gut shot. I don't like betting here just because even pocket 7s will definitely call here. We do hit a 5. I think I'm just gonna check as well. I'll consider folding depending on the size of the bet. Okay, I can definitely see Joseph having some sort of pocket 7s, pocket 8s here, even a flush draw, but I don't think we can fold yet. I think we can call this bet. And he decides to shove. You guys think he has a flush draw? I don't think he'll ever shove pocket 7s there. Pocket 8s. So does his play make any sense to you guys? I think he'll check back an ace high. I think we're just gonna fold. I don't want to bluff catch. Table 1, I think we're just gonna c-bet this with a gut shot. And table 3, I think Jack 8 offsuit is okay to defend. It'll be pretty nitty if we just check fold, or if we just fold versus a 2x open on the button. Yeah, just gonna check fold that. Okay, so 8-4 suited versus someone that's playing 3 tables. I think we'll defend this also. Okay, so table 2, flop is ace queen queen. I feel like this favors us more than him because he just calls on the button. I can see him having a lot of weaker pocket pairs here, at least pocket deuces, pocket 3s or whatnot, even 7-8 suited. I think we can bet this just on the half pot type of bet, because he's obviously gonna fold if he doesn't hit this board, and if he does hit it, he'll just call and we can just shut down on the turn and river. And obviously it looks like it favors us more.